It's either I get a new chair or I figure out something that I can like spray onto the joints so it makes it less squeaky. It's plastic though, and metal. I'll figure it out. And it's not a bad chair. It's not a bad chair, actually. I looked it up, and this is actually a decent chair for a lot of reasons. I mean, relatively comfy. It adjusts. See, look, I can go down. Hold on. I'm a little shorter now. But I don't like this. I don't like this height. Actually, you know what? This isn't bad. No, I'm too tall for this. I'm too tall, so like if I have my feet like straight up like this, then it just feels weird. So I'm gonna lift it back up. But anyways, today's the story time. So my story, actually, coincidentally enough, it was kind of off. I first started playing games because of my aunt's boyfriend at the time. Don't remember his name. I remember his face really well, which is actually really interesting. We had photo albums of like those years. It was crazy. And for some reason, someone decided to take a picture of me playing on the PlayStation 1 with my aunt's boyfriend at the time. So I actually still remember his face really, really, really well. It's kind of weird. So my earliest memory of playing a video game was with my aunt's boyfriend at the time. I believe I was around 4 or 5 years old, around that age. The very first game that I ever played, my earliest memory is the first, no, it was the second Crash Bandicoot game, Cortex Strikes Back. And that was actually honestly my earliest memory of playing a game. What's ironic is in the picture, remember I mentioned the picture, I'm sitting on the couch with the controller in my hand, and my aunt's boyfriend also has a controller in his hand. So what I think happened, and this is the classic move, he gave me player 2, and it's a 1-player game. So I thought I was playing. Fucking dickhead. After that, it was owning an N64. I had possession of an N64. And I played through so many fucking games. I played through the classic Mario 64 from start to fucking finish. That game took me years to beat, because that's actually a really tough game. Guides were not a thing back when I was a child. At least not to the extent where I knew about them, I knew of their existence, and I could go out of my way to look them up. That was not, not an option for me. I had one game that I actually loved on the N64, and a lot of people did not play this game, and I loved this fucking game. Loved immensely was Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Let me know in the chat if you guys have either ever heard of that game or if you've ever played that game. Let me know. But you could just, for a lot of old school games, you couldn't pick the difficulty, so you had to play as hard as the game was. So Star Wars Rogue Squadron was a difficult fucking game. And of course, I think that game really started my whole completionist phase. So I wanted to get the gold medals for every single mission. That was tough. Tomb Raider. Yes, Tomb Raider. So that is actually another one of the games that I used to play as a kid on the computer. One out of the 2 original PlayStation games that I still own. The other one is actually a demo disc from Pizza Hut, I think. Because remember back in the day when fucking fast food restaurants would actually do that? Here comes the next wave of games for the PlayStation. Come over to Pizza Hut and we'll give you a demo disc with like 30 games on it, but each game you can only play like 30 minutes of. You guys remember that? I remember that. I think I still have it. It's in the worst fucking condition possible, but I'm pretty sure I still have it. Fuck it, I'll go grab it. I'm gonna go grab it. I'll be right back. All right, so I grabbed a lot more. But check it out. These are all of my original N64 games. I think there was a couple that I bought, but see what we got here. Quake. This game was nuts. I fucking loved this game, Quake. It was brutal. I do have a really fun story about Quake in particular. My dad had this game on the PC, okay? And my dad also played games, kind of. when I was much younger. My dad used to be a D&D weirdo back in the 80s and 70s and whatnot. And fucking just absolutely... He really passed that on to me. He really did. But he had Quake on the PC, and I was forbidden to play Quake on the PC. I was forbidden to play Quake. I snuck on the computer and I started playing Quake, and it scarred me because it's a terrifying game. Why the fuck couldn't my dad just tell me it was a terrifying game? And maybe he did. Yeah, he might have told me. But still, I digress. The reason why it was so terrifying was there's this one level in particular where you're having to maneuver around platforms and there's like a whole body of water underneath you, and if you fall in, there's a specific creature that'll start attacking you, and this creature was an eel with a skull as a head. And that scared the living fuck out of me. Actually scared me to death. That's my story of Quake. Love this game. Banjo-Kazooie. Fuck! I love this game. I've actually still have never beaten this game. I've gotten to the last boss fight. No, I have beaten this game. Okay, the story behind this is weird. First and foremost, this game is terrifying. Fuck you if you don't think so. This game is actually horrific. This shit is made out of fucking nightmares and World War II. Not only is the music so melancholy at times, yeah, it can be a bit jovial, like dun, 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 dun. Like, it's just creepy. And how they all fucking talk. That's how fucking Banjo talked. He talked like... I mean, this is also a very difficult game, but I think I got to the point where I defeated the witch and I saved your sister. You save your sister in this. But then there was this like scene where the sister's like, well, you didn't really defeat the witch. And I think I got to that point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I already saved you. Fuck the witch. I don't care. So I stopped playing it. All right, here we go. Boom. This is one of my most prized possessions, and it's in such shit condition. It's so in such bad condition, but it is an old fucking game. I love this game. I think there are 3 files on this game, all maxed out, beaten everything, gotten everything. Fierce Deity's Mask, the fucking 9 yards. Love this game. This is also an extremely dark game as well. I mean, yeah, guys, let's remember here for just a second. The Legend of Zelda games were fucked. Next one. This is actually a really fun story right here. Sorry. I actually found this in a dumpster at my work 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, along with a lot of other games, but this is the one that I wanted to keep because I had another coworker. I actually had a coworker who found it, and then he asked me if I wanted any of the games, and I'm like, I want this one. I want this one. The other ones were like bullshit. He didn't know games. The other ones were bullshit. I'm like, I just want that. I just want this one. This is the only one I want. Just this one. And he gave it to me, so that was cool. This is the game that I was talking about earlier. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Do you remember this game? Here you go. Look at that. This game, fucking nuts. I love this game so goddamn much. It's one of my favorite fucking games of all time. Well, let me give you another vibe right here. This is actually one of, arguably, I'd love to see someone argue with me on this, but this, one of the greatest games of all time. Go ahead. Let's see it. Let's see it. No, Astros, if you're wrong, fuck you. The greatest game of all time is fucking Pong. Listen. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I truly believe that if this game were to have been released today, it would still be a 10 out of 10 game. This is one of those games. I love this game. I'm just gonna give it a nice little blow because, you know, that's what you gotta do. If you didn't know that, here, actually, hold on. If you didn't know that, half the time, in order for you to play N64 games, if they're old enough, you actually had to blow in them. Like that. Like hard. You gotta like hard. And for some reason, I don't know how that became a staple trick. For every kid fucking knew this. I don't know how. Who the hell came up with that shit? But I'm not kidding. If I were to try to play this now without blowing into it, my N64 would be like, man, it does not compute. And then you just blow it and it's like, oh shit, it's a game. What the fuck? What did blowing on it do? True fucking, that's a struggle. That was an old school struggle right there. Here we go. And this is how old this fucking game is. Look how faded that shit is. You can kind of see it. Look how faded that shit is. Super Mario 64. I love this game though. This game's also one of the greatest games. If this doesn't get your panties wet, I don't know what will. Are you ready? Boom. The classic Super Smash Bros. Love this game. I loved Smash Bros. Growing up as a kid. On the N64, I played this a lot with my uncles, and we'd always shit on each other all the time. We'd actually spend weeks, months, when I would go visit them, getting better at this game so that we can play. It was just crazy. Boop. 007. This game is actually up there as far as difficulty goes. This is a tough fucking game. And I think what made it really difficult was the mechanics. The mechanics in this game were like too old school. Check it out. Let's see if I can actually ruffle up some memories here for all of us old school motherfuckers. You guys remember this shit? Pizza powered PlayStation giveaway. Fucking crazy. And these are all the games in the back that the demo would actually have. And then a bunch more. It had Crash Bandicoot Warped. It had Medieval, Metal Gear Solid, Gran Turismo, Tomb Raider 3. Fucking nuts. I think I still have the game too. And then this is the actual disc with all the demo games. This was the demo disc that you got in these, which I think is fucking crazy. So you get this disc, and it had a lot more than just these 5 games. It actually had way more than just these 5. If I were to stick this sucker, I think it still works. Like, it's not... It's pretty shitty condition, but I'm pretty sure I could get it to still work. And, by the way, let me just go ahead and put in this shameless plug-in right here. If you enjoy my story times, I do a lot of these. I do these every single Tuesday, and I actually upload an edited version of these on my YouTube. It's much better, of course, to come during the Twitch thing, because I don't really think that I'm going to include the majority of this on the YouTube video. I might, I'll think about it. But it's better to come onto the Twitch live on every Tuesday to actually see the unedited version of my story times. But if you do enjoy my story times, go ahead and check out my YouTube. I have dozens of story times now. I've actually been doing this for a little bit, and I'm really happy about it. Like, that makes me really happy. And I have a lot of people who tell me that they enjoy it too. Mostly family. But you know what? That still counts for something, right? I think so.